So I don't think defense reacts are that good, but I think you want a couple just in case.
Yeah, insurance is never bad if the opportunity cost isn't too high. Now,
For
the other
sure.
question I had for you is, I think every matchup we've seen so far, Matt has been playing Courage of Bladehold. Is Tunic even in the 80, or has he just chosen that extra armor for the one big explosive turn every time?
Yeah, so Tunic is in the deck. It's only played for when you have shunts in the matchup. So if they reveal Courage, you know there's no shunts in their deck. If there's no shunt in your deck, Tunic just doesn't offer a lot to you, and Courage just literally gives you 2 free cards in a game or more, depending on how much you can attack. It just has like so much value to it. Whereas Tunic it's a bit slow. It's only good with shunt. So if you're not playing shunt or you don't need shunt in a matchup, I mean, Courage is so strong.
So would you? I guess we're looking at fringe cases here. Run Courage over Wizard and effectively race them rather than have that one extra resource for maybe a bit of defense against them.
Yeah, you definitely. No, you play Null Rune Robe against Wizard. So you have 3 Null Rune because the deck plays 22 blues, which is a lot more than a lot of other decks, but you have to be able to get off your multiple routes, and 3 red overpowers.
Yeah, very good point. I was naturally defaulting to not bringing very many Null Runes and just trying to race more aggressively.
Yeah, yeah. As I said, this deck is a lot different than a lot of these other all red decks. So we see it. Oh, we started. So he's coming with a smash inting. So Matt been able to? Matt gets to choose, right, first or second, because he's higher. Because he's the winner.
I
Is that
believe
correct?
so, because I don't think we saw a dice roll off of that.
Yeah. So Matt's chosen second because you just never want to go second. You never want to go first in Warrior unless you're against Guardian.
Exactly. So we're looking at, we're intimidating 1. Generally speaking, you're deciding whether or not you want to attack on your first turn to give them a chance to filter their hand anyways. Here we're seeing the intimidate, so even though you're kind of filtering their hand out, you're also making it a little bit awkward because they don't have the perfect choice of what to block with.
Yeah, definitely. So you can see he's blocking the 5 damage. He's not going to take anything, I think. Is that yellow? Let's see.
Yeah, so I think
he's going to take 1.
Yeah.
Okay. He must want the other card that wasn't intimidated, so that's fine.
I think so. So this deck does run Flock of the Featherwalkers, obviously for that unconditional quicken token. That goes back to that idea of building a board state where odds are it's going to be used that next turn, but the option exists to have it float 2 turns if you just don't put an attack down, right?
Yeah, it's actually the only attack action the deck plays at all. So the reason for that is, as I said, you want to go through their reactions. And so you want to have a lot of synergistic warrior cards versus these amalgam cards that just do flat up face up damage. But Flock functions in a way where it does face up damage. It's good when they overblock you, and it sets up for another turn. So it actually just does everything you want it to do in a card. So he's taking it here.
Oh, interesting. So I guess he's
got a strong hand.
He has a strong hand, or he knows he can't block over that 5, and maybe he'll dump 3 to defend here on that non-buffed Dawnblade.
Possibly. We'll see here. Okay, so he's just coming in for 4. Yeah, I think Dan has a very good hand here because
most definitely.
He must have. I think he has Blood Rush in his arsenal, and he's going to be able to, or his hand, he's going to be able to go off heavy. But
yeah,
we'll see.
Using that much armor that early against a warrior is a bold move that signals you have another bold move.
Here we go.
Yeah, so barraging to filter out, get that 1 intimidate, make sure you don't discard it off of the remaining cards you're going to play. We're guessing a Blood Rush Bellow in this instance.
Or maybe just an Alpha Rampage plus Massacre.
Yeah, Alpha Rampage plus Massacre with Barraging Beatdown is... Okay, so if that was a Massacre, it would be a total of 4 Intimidates. Because it's just the Wrecker Romp, we're still looking at 3 Intimidates, which is, it's very difficult to turn off that Barraging Beatdown with only 1 card left in your hand.
So his issue, if there is a Sink Below in the arsenal, it's very, very favorable for Matt.
Exactly.
So there's definitely good reason to have Siglo in your deck, even against these, small pushes.
I mean, it's a small push. It's triple intimidated, threatening 13 damage, which really goes to
Yeah,
show the
definitely,
size of the
definitely.
combos that the Brute is looking to pull off here. 13 is considered small.
Yeah, these brute decks can do up to 20 plus damage with their claws plus Blood Rush Bellow turns. It gets a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, I think we saw in the previous game, Dan versus Tante, we saw Blood Rush Bellow on one turn. Next turn, we saw another Blood Rush Bellow, and that same turn, you discarded Beast Within off the Blood Rush Bellow into 2 Art of Wars. So the
There you
combos
go.
ended. I think on that second turn, you're looking at a total of 10 cards that you're running through, maybe a little bit more.
Oh man, he's keeping it. He's not taking a single damage here. This is a fast swinging game. This is a good, and he's used that refraction bolters, so he's going to want something big coming. He's got something big planned, Matt.
Yeah, and I mean the fact that he's using the single refraction bolters probably means he's more than willing to use them this turn.
Yeah, it's just interesting that his hand isn't big enough to block with the courage to pop that, but maybe he's probably calculated the resources he needs to get off this turn. But yeah, he's going in with a full swing and he's blocking here, so he's going to turn on the glint to draw a card if he does have glint, which he probably he might.
I would assume so.
Okay, he's pitching here, so he's got a red overpower. Oh, a blue one.
Blue overpower. Okay, it's still good to come in for 4 damage, covered by the Fate. Can we see a continuation? Maybe.
Yeah, because he does have a mana open.
Chip damage. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, you're right. So it could be any attack reaction.
Yep. Coming in with a razor.
The deck does not run yellow Iron Songs, correct? Just the red and the blue?
Yeah, just red and blue.
Okay.
Yellow cards I'm not a big fan of because they're in such an in-between point where they don't do the most damage, but they don't have the most resources. So it's kind of in that spot where it's just okay, but not great. So there's not many yellow cards in the deck unless they're basically Majestics. I'm
So
pretty sure.
that raises a very interesting question on what is probably one of the most debated cards in Warrior in terms of Iron Song determination. So give us your opinion on that one, because I'm sure you have a strong one.
It's very strong. So this is a very strong turn it's a very strong turn. He's got 2 action points here, and he's coming with a Savage String, and he's going to be able to draw 2 cards and get another attack off. This is just very favorable for Dan McKay. Everything's going well for him.
It absolutely is. He's discarding the right cards. He's seeing the right cards in his hand to let him filter to effectively rig that discard as well.
For sure. I think Matt could just turtle here because he knows that there's a lot of defense reacts in Dan's deck, so he will have an off turn or multiple off turns.
He eventually will, but I don't think this turn is one of them necessarily.
Definitely not.
Because we know there's a massacre in that hand, and that +2 effect and the intimidate is now active.
Yeah, it's all looking good for Matt in this game, especially with that. Depends if he's drawn a blue or what color is the barraging that's in there? I'm not sure, but if he was able to cast Massacre, then yeah, it's in a lot of trouble.
I mean, he can pay for Massacre no matter what.
Oh no, he's attacking.
Okay, yeah. Oh, so that means it must have been a red barraging that went down there.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, if he really wanted to, he could play that Massacre between Tunic and whatever that extra card in his hand is.
Yeah.
If it's anything other than a red. But it looks like he's opting for the claws here. I'm assuming he'll be arsenaling this after this turn. Maybe that's the Blood Rush Bellow that he's been looking for to set up, because
that'd be a good draw. That'd be a good draw off the Savage Streets, but even an Unmovable is a great draw. A lot of great draws he has, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of very good things to put into the arsenal in this Brute deck. Even a Pack Hunt would be a great thing to throw in there as well.
I think it has to be a red card in the arsenal, just because he didn't cast the Massacre, and casting the Massacre there is just huge.
Yeah, I could also see an argument for Arsenal and Blood Rush Bellow, because it's so unlikely you're going to cycle through your deck in a matchup where we've seen 3 turns and a total of almost 30 damage dealt, more than 30 damage dealt if you factor in equips.
Yeah.
So in
For
that
sure.
instance, maybe he's keen to not pitch that and just to have it in his hand and play it out, or have it in his arsenal and play it out.
Yep,
So
definitely. I guess it just depends on how much you think how much value you can get off the Blood Rush Bellow versus getting value off the. So he's going to come in with the Razor here. Oh, he's not. He's just going to leave it in his hand. All right, interesting. I guess, yeah. I don't know, it is free damage. I'm not sure, but there we go. He's a Blood Rush Bellow.
But it's just that empty flock is close to an empty turn for Warrior, right?
Yeah, but it's just he gets to draw the 4th card anyway, and it's just free damage. He doesn't have to, even the go again doesn't really matter because he's not going to attack with the weapon to pop the Quicken token. But yeah, we'll see. So he's discarded. He's got the Blood Rush Bellow here. He's discarded a card that has 6 or more, so he's going to get intimidated. He's going to draw 2 cards. God, this is a bit of a slaughter, I think. Everything's going well for Dan in this game.
He's seen all the combo pieces, which it begs the question: is the deck just this finely tuned, and he's chosen the precisely perfect number of defense reacts to bring, or is he getting lucky from draw to draw? And
yeah, we'll see.
In a card game,
that happens.
In an individual game, you can't tell. You need to play 10, 20, 30 to see those odds come out. So we're seeing.
So he's attacking with the claws, and with these claws, I don't think it's wise to block it just because it's so easy to bait out and attack off the claws and then come in with a barraging beatdown. But he is going to block it. Maybe he's reading that he's got to read that he doesn't have that. But here comes an Alpha Rampage. Jesus, this is looking a bit too much. I think he's got.
This is 11 damage. Matt can block 3 plus whatever armor he feels like. Maybe there's a defense react in that arsenal.
Yeah, potentially.
Even then, it's still going to sting an awful lot.
But this is at a cost for Dan as well, because he's got the Quicken token, and he's not going to be able to arsenal anything. So Matt can swing back here, and he is using the Courage of Bladehole, so I think he is going to do that. He's going to try and get that tempo back.
Definitely. It looks like he's decided this is the point where he's uncomfortable going lower on life from here, because that, around that 20-point range is when you start worrying about those brute combos. And with those claws, it's very easy to keep it all into a single combat chain, so you can't block 2 with the bracers and then 1 with the bracers on the same turn necessarily.
Definitely. And so now that we've got back, so the action's this is just action on action here, but you were talking about Ironsong Determination. What was that you were?
Yes, I guess just briefly give your opinion on it as to why you think it doesn't deserve a spot in this deck, and so on and so forth. Is it just the fact that the popular decks are running a bunch of big unmovables and it reduces the value of the card?
So he's not playing any?
Well, I asked you earlier, and you said I think you said you only Majestic yellows were in here, but I guess Singing Steelblade.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. But yeah, I know you get, but I meant ones that don't have a cycle. But but yes, he doesn't, because he plays Sing and stuff, which is a super. But yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I guess I mean the ones that aren't rare and super and have all the different colors. But yeah, he doesn't play any Ironsong Determination in the deck. So, man, Matt didn't even get through there. So yeah, this is. Oof, it's a bit tough, but maybe he can swing it back because he's only got 2 cards left in hand, so that might help a bit. But yeah, so I don't think that card is good in any way against any deck. So the decks that it is good against, you're already favored in. So things like Ninja, but it looks like Matt's disconnected, so we're able to have a chat. So against decks like Ninja and all those decks that want to play aggressively, you want to have it, but those decks are already favored for you, so it's not a necessity. And against decks like Dash and Guardian and just blue decks in general, it just doesn't do anything because it's only a +1, and your opponent can always play around it by always having an unmovable in the arsenal for your push turns. And late game, they say like, I'll put it back for late game, but late game, sometimes you just don't have enough life to be able to get a full combo off. It's pretty hard against decks like Dash.
And I think I do largely agree with you because those top four classes that we mentioned earlier, they all run into games with 7 armor, 5 of which they can throw at a single attack.
Yep.
Everybody's defense reacts, and everybody's getting around things in a smarter way nowadays as people are learning to play the game more and more. But yeah, definitely, I know I play a lot of Guardian. I love it when I see an Iron Song Determination because I know that's a card out of your hand that gives it a +1. I'm more than okay with that. I've always got armor and a card in the arsenal. And as you mentioned, for late game, um, if you are at the point where you need to push a point or two of damage individually, I think as a warrior, you're already so far on the back foot because a 2 or 3 card turn is already, you know, much weaker for you. You need those 4 or 5 card turns to really push things through, to really play those mind games. Whereas if it's just Iron Song, pitch, swing the sword, it's 4 damage with no surprises.
Exactly. And another thing with it is that because you're playing it face up, it doesn't give that threat to your opponent. So if the Iron Song Determination was just another card that just buffed you by +3 in that spot, it probably just does the same thing, if not more. So Iron Song Determination literally just +1, and then your opponent can block from Arsenal with their defense react. So it's basically a blue sharpened steel that just has less resources. That's what I think of it as. And so I just cut it completely from the deck, because even if you draw it early game and put it to the bottom of your deck, that just costs you tempo, which is what your deck's all about.
Definitely.
Even at a one, even as a one of, you just draw it early,
like,
and you're just like, why is this in my hand?
It looks like we're seeing a simple pitch and Art of War for Claw. I think Matt's happy to take these points of damage here. We're seeing the downside of this brute deck where your off turns are very off, right?
Yeah. Well, he only had 2 cards, so I mean, if you Arsenal with a defense reactor, I think it's still fine. He got 3 points of damage in, and
That's very true. I guess I'm extending back to that other turn where he looked at his 4 cards, decided this wasn't a good enough combo, and was willing to block on Matt's turn with plenty of resources.
yeah, definitely. I don't see a way Matt can win this game, to be honest. Just because it's just the only way to do it is if he rolls double, if he re-rolls on the Gambler's Gloves and doesn't hit a 3 or a 4 or something. But yeah, he can just get grinded out here. But he's taking this damage here. It's the thing. He's on 12 and he's only got 1 piece of equipment left to use, or he's got 2 if he wanted to use the courage. But he's coming in for 4 here. It's again so far ahead. He can just take all the hits and then just come in with a big turn that can't be blocked with brute. And then what are you going to do?
Yeah, likely.
And he's taking this as well.
Matt's playing the route with no reprise.
Yeah.
Just pushing that little bit of damage to, hope if he can survive, this next definitely explosive turn, maybe Dan's gonna draw awkwardly and he'll be able to claw something back, even though he's not having the claws equipped on his hero. It might be
Matt definitely needs. He's pitched a red sync bow, so that's a little bit of a win for Matt, I'd say. But yeah, it's not looking good. But he needs to have a sync in the arsenal, I think, to survive this turn.
I would agree. I don't think he has the armor left to do it, and
you don't want to pop that courage. There you go.
Yeah. Again.
All right. Now, how many is he gonna mill? This just 1. All right.
Just 1.
Never mind.
And it's a red savage feast, so
great card.
You're gonna be.
But he's gonna have to. I think he's gonna roll for scab skins. So
I think this roll is for intimidate. The next one is probably for scab skins.
All right, so he showed the blue Iron Song response for some reason. Maybe just a bit of a glitch.
I guess we're re-rolling until we see a number between 1 and 4.
1 and 4, yeah.
Yeah, there we are. But
see, now he's got 5 cards to work with. Surprised he used the sync instead of the. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, because we didn't want to discard the sync off the Blood Rush. Yeah. But he's still got the tunic up, so this is a lot of resources he's got left to use. But he only has 1 Alpha Rampage, which I think is a good sign for Matt. So he's coming in for 5 here, and he has to take it because a barraging beatdown just wins the game outright.
Yeah, and he's got another Savage Feast in there and a tunic with plenty of cards to pitch. So you can expect you're going to be intimidated, at least another 1 or 2 times on this turn. Pitching the
another red here.
So this is a bit of an awkward pitch scenario. It seems that that Dan would have liked a couple extra blues here, but I don't think you're complaining when you've got so many cards to work with.
Absolutely. Now he has to go down to 3. Yeah, it's just tough. Just very tough. There's a Savage Feast. Oh, the double Intimidate. So yeah, if he doesn't have Sync, it's game. And he's going to get to draw a card.
Yeah, and even if he does have Sync, it's very, very close. I think he might go down
to 2 if he, yeah, because it's attacking for 8, and so if he has Sync, it's gonna.
Correct. Yes.
So he's only going to use that one. We'll see.
So
okay, so he does have it. So he's going to go down to 2. He's going to survive this attack. Good stuff.
Doesn't have anything left in his hand to sync with, unfortunately. So we can't, filter for maybe a hope and a prayer on the next turn. But
yep, but he does have the counter on Dawnblade, so we'll see here because he has pitched he did pitch a sync, so and so yeah, we'll see what he's got in the arsenal here. It might be if it's a defense react, it's a bit rough for Matt, but I mean he's already swinging for the fences here, so far behind.
Yeah, and I mean even if it's not, I could see a 3 or 4 card block. Over the next few turns, maybe adding in armor as you need to from Dan, just until you do draw into that next combo turn.
For sure.
So spoils and a Dawnblade for 6 with unconditional go again. So Twinning Blade is now a very big threat. We've seen him pitch one earlier. Can't remember if he played one. I believe he did play one.
Yeah, he did play Twinning Blade. Yeah, he did. He did play it.
One unaccounted for.
So that's 5. But this is attacking for 6. So
we're seeing some aggressive blocking, I would describe it as, coming from Dan here. Thinking that, even if Matt can go over in this instance, he's fine taking a few damage, so long as he has those 4 cards left on his turn to come back. Pushing 2 on Brute is pretty easy.
Interesting he's blocking for 5 when it's attacking for 6. When he could just take the 6 and then just block the second attack. But
I think he was. Oh, there
okay, yeah, okay. He's got another thing. Okay, that makes sense. So he's just baiting out. He's just baiting it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Trying to, but yeah, as you can see now, he's got 3 cards. Matt's going to be able to arsenal. Yeah, he loses his counter, but he might be able to. Let's see, he's never going to have a 5-card turn again. That's the issue that I can see.
He's never going to have a 5-card turn, and he's also playing against the clock of. We saw 2 back-to-back reckless swings get pitched. So.
Yeah. So it's unlikely he's going to see one for a while.
Yes, but they're in there. They will be coming eventually. I doubt we see 2 in particular again. I know a lot
it's just impossible to play around, so you might as well just ignore it, essentially.
Exactly. I know a lot of Brutes don't play with 3 because, if they do come up in the same hand, the odds of one discarding the other makes it awkward and just clogs it all up. But maybe that's something that Matt is considering at this point. Either
and it's not as great in the mirror. Reckless Swing's not as great in the mirror, the Brute mirror.
Very true. Because you need 2 cards to block for 4, which is.
All right, here we go.
Best of times.
He's popping the courage. This is business time right now, and he's got the Refraction Bolters up. He's going to block with 1 card.
So that's indicating he has several defense reacts there.
Yeah, he definitely would. But he has used. He pitched 1. He's used a few, so he might have an unmovable. I think because he did pitch 2. He used 1, and he just used 2 just then. So unless he's thinking, oh, okay, well, I got Reckless Swing, so whatever. And here we go. Yeah, there's a Twinning Blade, so he's going to be able to get that go again no matter what, which I like. So he's got a potion. He's shown that. So
yeah. Now, even
it's going to be a bit more threat. There you go. This is beautiful stuff.
Yeah,
but he's shown the thing, the energy pod. So that's not a threat. He's shown that.
I think there's a little bit of technical difficulties with TTS and being slightly with what the hotkeys are.
Sure.
Or maybe there were some
next. Yeah, there's an unmovable.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there we go.
Expected,
Played
I'd
around
say.
the Twinning Blade.
Now, if he has another Twinning Blade, oh, and he gets to play the pot here, which is just very strong, and he's left with 1 card. All right, now he gets a 5-card turn, unless he wants to attack with the claw, which he doesn't. So he's going to get a 5-card turn, and he's got a pot out. So he's swung it back.
Yeah, and the only armor left on Dan that's currently active is that Tunic.
Yep.
So, you know, we'll see what Matt can come up with here.
But yeah, as I said, Dan can just, as soon as he draws Reckless Swing, if he plays the 3rd one, then you just have to stall out until then, because Matt doesn't play any life gain cards.
And we haven't seen,
which I think is what Dan's playing into. I'm fairly certain. So he's a Supremacy.
Yeah, I believe
none of this matters if there's red. I just predict a anticlimactic Reckless Swing into the game. But
I'm tempted to agree with you, but maybe we see something amazing here with a red overpower and something else paid for by an energy potion into boots into another swing after we get a big commitment of defense, because he has seen that Twinning Blade go by. He knows that's no longer.
He's overblocking, so in the reaction step, he might just flip a Reckless Swing just to the end of the game.
Well, he's barely overblocking, and I would say this is a pretty standard block against a Steel Blade Supremacy. Ooh, another Steel Blade.
Oh, here we go. And there's a red over. Is that red? That's a red overpower. So that's +6.
So, and is that?
So that's 5 over.
Won't have
so a red defense, a red sink or something will not stop it.
Yeah.
So he's going to draw a card here, and he's going to flip the boots.
Definitely, and hopefully that's a yellow or something that he can pitch to use
get
the
+1
and the sword.
Oh, he's got 2 cards. Oh my god.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
oh,
and
Jesus. This is lethal. If that's a yellow, this is threatening lethal. I don't think it is. I think it's a red because he didn't indicate that he was using the braces.
Yeah.
And you go now. He has to use Tunic. Man.
And
he has to use the defense rep from the arsenal. So that's 8. That's 8 versus 8, and so it is tied. So he won't get the counter, but.
A lot of life, Matt making up a lot of the difference in the life total this turn. Unfortunately, it cost him the little bit of resources he had on the board. It cost him that energy potion and those boots.
But he just needs to push through here. See, that's what's good about the red overpower is that because it was +5 over Dan, the red defense react wouldn't help him. So that's why the somersault wasn't used there, which I think is which makes it so powerful. There's an out for blood. So as I said, he's thin on red defense reacts because he has pitched them. So yeah, he's going to get the +1 here. So he's going to pitch a blue and then come in for 5. Red, so he's going to come in for 4, which is still perfectly fine because he has to use both cards.
And
this is coming down to the wire here. Yeah, he's going to be able to use both cards. So, and the thing is, I'm fairly certain that both Reckless Swings are together. And so if he draws both Reckless Swings, if he gets in the same hand cycle, then, there is a situation where he just ditches the Reckless Swing with the Reckless Swing and just, he comes and attack here. See, with 6 life, it's very much threatening lethal if you just don't do anything.
Yeah, on an empty Dawnblade, especially, you've seen red overpowers, you've seen blue overpowers. We were talking such a big game about, oh, no way, this is going to go long enough for people to see what they've pitched come back again. But we're definitely at the point of the game where we're starting to see that. Yeah,
I think Dan is just under that assumption where he's just going to just get rid of his whole hand, not care, and then if Dan blocks with 3 cards, he's winning. He's going with his win condition of just. Okay, he's playing Art of War. Okay, I think he knows his hand cycle, and he's going to draw into the Reckless Swing now. Potentially. He's going to pitch the Blood Rush.
Either he's drawing into it now, or he's giving himself half a turn
Yeah.
way in terms of using that. Plus, I'm
So
assuming
this is coming in for 4 block. This is a 4 block.
Yeah, he's chosen that +1 defense off the Art of War. So surely he's got some type of defense react
He's
here.
got singing here.
Played. Are we just
So
gonna
he can come in with a red overpower here if he's got the mana to get it off. And
he's
that's
got cards left in hand, so I'm assuming that he does.
and that is lethal. That is lethal if the red overpower does hit. But I'm predicting a reckless swing for the anticlimactic finish right now, and it's gonna be like, oh damn.
I would be assuming some type of defense react still in Dan's hand here, because otherwise why would block exact damage against a warrior with 4 cards in hand, right? Or 3 cards in hand and plenty of resources. So I think Matt is currently thinking very hard about, is he going to go for the red overpower, or is he going to go for
maybe a glint into a draw into another react?
Glint into draw into another react, maybe chip 1 damage here and force those extra cards out later, or maybe even a route in this instance. Yeah,
route is good. Route is strong. But you just gotta I think Matt can't play around maybe he goes for another singing. Okay, there's the red overpower, so this is lethal. And he has to use both cards.
Ooh, unfortunate that one of those is the sing. So
that is...
It's not lethal.
Yeah, he's on 2. Oh, that is rough. But I think the sing follow actually just doesn't do anything anymore. Just because...
at this point, I agree. The threat is coming off of Reckless Swing. Because it's very difficult to intimidate enough cards away with those 1 or 2 card hands that Dan is.
Yeah, so he's going to come in with a Blood Rush Biller. I think he has a Savage Feast in his hand. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah, he's just gonna is he gonna attack twice? Yeah, I guess he's just gonna attack twice with the...
He's rolling the Scab Skins.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna attack twice with the thing.
These are times when you need to know that those just chip for 4.
And unfortunate that he had the red, because he could have gone for the double. He could have gone for the double singing into... maybe he couldn't read, never matter. But he could have gone for the route play, or the singing route, which would be lethal.
Would have been a 7-point swing rather than that 6.
Yeah.
I know.
He's going to block with that and go to 1. 1 is the same as 2 in this situation.
In the games yesterday, we saw Matt singing into singing into singing, all 3 chaining into each other into an Iron Song response. Effectively making the poor man's overpower of 3 mana for +6 with all the reprise.
Oh, he's playing Time Snap and passing. He's got a 4-card hand.
Oh, this is
terrifying. This is not where Matt wants to be.
1 free Intimidate.
He must have something good, because he could have just played the Flock.
There's the Alpha Rampage.
Yeah, so that's it. That's game over.
I think it has to be, unless...
Yeah, there's no possible way to block this one out. So we go to the next game. I'm surprised he played the Time Snap instead of just playing the Flock and just attacking for 5 and getting the...
Is there a chance that he just... No, he would have had a card. Yeah, he could have pitched any other card to... and revealed the Time Snap in that instance. I was thinking maybe he had some weird 2 costs in there, but... That would
interesting, because the 5 damage is super relevant there, because he has to use 2 cards to block it out.
Exactly.
But we're going for a reset here, which is what we wanted, which is fine.